145-page special counsel report is critical of President Biden over his handling of highly classified documents, including photos of records crammed into desk drawers, some in a damaged cardboard box in the garage at his Delaware home, others at a former office in Washington, D.C. Special counsel Robert Hur writes that Mr. Biden's conduct presented serious risks to national security. But Hur decided not to bring criminal charges because the evidence does not establish Mr. Biden's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The president responded this afternoon.
Bottom line is the special counsel in my case decided against moving forward with any charges. This matter is now closed.
During the year-long investigation, special counsel investigators questioned 147 witnesses and collected over 7 million documents from Biden's time in the Senate as vice president and to the present day. Mr. Biden himself was interviewed by Hur, a former U.S. attorney, for 5 hours, who wrote that the president did not remember when he was vice president or when his son, Beau, died. If the president were charged, Hur wrote that he would likely present himself to the jury, as he did during his interview with our office, as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. The records included documents marked classified, as well as Mr. Biden's personal notebooks of national security briefings. The records contained highly sensitive intelligence sources and methods, military programs and capabilities of foreign terrorist groups. Hur emphasized that President Biden was cooperative, while former President Trump, who was charged in a separate investigation, allegedly did the opposite.
Special counsel acknowledged I cooperated completely.
Mr. Biden seized on that today.
I did not throw up any roadblocks. I sought no delays. In fact, I was so determined to give special counsel what they needed, I went forward with a 5-hour in-person interview.
And Catherine Herridge joins me now from outside the Justice Department in Washington. Catherine, I still want to step back. You did this so well in your report, but remind people why the handling and mishandling of information like this matters.
Well, John, in this case, there were 2 buckets of classified information. There were documents that were stamped classified. They related to Afghanistan and military strategy. And the second were President Biden's personal notebooks, where he documented details of highly classified briefings, including the president's daily brief and National Security Council meetings. And the reason all of this matters is that there are fragile sources and methods involved. That was true in this case. Some of the intelligence was SCI, that's special compartmented information. So human spying, it can be space satellites, and all of that, if it's lost because of a disclosure, sometimes can take decades to replace and sometimes is irreplaceable, like in the aspect of human spying.
Special counsel Jack Smith last year brought charges against former President Trump related to his handling of classified documents. The report explains how the Trump case and the Biden cases are different. What did it say about that?
Well, to bottom line it up front, what Special Counsel Hur said today is that there was strong cooperation from President Biden. There was evidence that the records may have been moved without his knowledge out of the White House. So he didn't understand there were classified records in the boxes. It's not uncommon for personal notes to be intermixed with classified records. And finally, there's the issue of what he described as a diminished capacity or memory problems, and that he felt that if this got in front of a jury, there would be significant doubt about whether he was guilty and there was criminal intent. In former President Trump's case, it's not just the allegation of mishandling classified information, it's also about alleged false statements he made, also obstruction of justice, also allegations that relevant evidence was destroyed. So it's that old saying, it's not sort of the original allegation, it's the cover-up or the steps someone takes afterwards, which also create additional legal jeopardy.
And finally, these cases are so politically tinged, and there are charges of political influence in these kinds of cases. Did the Attorney General issue a summary or make any comments about this report?
I think what's striking in this case, John, is that the Attorney General sort of allowed it to take its normal course, which is guided by the special counsel regulations. He reviewed it. It then went to the White House for a review and executive privilege, and then it went to Congress without redactions. So he really allowed it to take this glide path with the special counsel. And I can tell you this evening, there's a lot of pushback from the White House about special counsel Herr's observations about the president's memory. And I think it's pretty clear politically that is going to be the lasting headline of this report.
Catherine Herridge at the Justice Department for us. Thank you so much, Catherine. To help us untangle